gripNsipMANG. Okay, this is going to be a video about why Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff know absolutely nothing about what the industry needs to be today. Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff will continue and continue and continue with these bullshit storylines until they realize that, hey, this isn't fucking working. It's never fucking worked in TNA. Storylines are not what TNA needs. You know, something that frustrates me a lot, and I already talked about they in the last video, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit again. You bring in a super faction where your guy that's running it is Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Ric Flair. We don't fucking care about you old ass motherfuckers anymore. You were great at one time. Hogan, NWO for life, baby. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit was just too sweet. But I don't give a fuck anymore. Okay? NWO nostalgia has already been done in TNA long before your ass even got there. Okay? I'm not talking about an NW formation where Hulk Hogan came down to the ring on January 4th and, oh look, Hall and Waltman are in the audience, and they hop the guardrail, and they start talking to Hogan. And then here comes Nash down the ring, and he's like, what up, baby, it's Hulk Hogan, it's Kevin Nash, you know, Wolfpack, No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Kings of Wrestling. I'm talking about Victory Road, 2004. I'm talking about Jeff Jarrett going over Jeff Hardy, who both are now in they, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I guess you could say bygones be bygones, but fuck that shit. The wrestling fans aren't dumb, you know? But Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy, ladder match. See, this is what I liked about the old TNA. Okay? And I'm going to give it to you straight. When you were in 2004, TNA Victory Road, your first pay-per-view, it had to deliver, okay? You had to make a fucking statement. You highlighted your X Division with a Gauntlet Battle Royal, and it was a little corny, but hey, it fucking worked, because the audience was fucking jacked for it. The audience was fucking pumped for it. Then you had AJ Styles and Petey Williams. X Division title match. These were classic fucking matches. Then you had Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in a ladder match. Why? Because having Hardy in a ladder match made sense because he is a ladder technician. Okay? When you bring in that kind of atmosphere to a big pay-per-view, then it pays off. Nowadays, TNA will give away a free ladder match that lasts 4 fucking minutes on TNA Impact, and no one gives a shit. You're ruining the fucking match. You're ruining the nostalgia of the match. The reason why the 1-in-04 worked is because Hardy, who was a ladder technician, had to get the NWA World title off of Jeff Jarrett. Why? Because nobody wanted the title on Jeff Jarrett. You wanted to hate him. You had a passionate dislike for the man, okay? And on top of that, you bring in Scott Hall, you bring in Kevin Nash. Scott Hall, who was in the first, well, some people would say maybe not technically the first, but at least the first televised ladder match, and it made sense, okay? And you had Nash and Hall come into the ring and help Jeff Jarrett retain the NWA World title. And that was the first NWO reformation that I have ever seen and I have ever liked. okay? I don't give a fuck about they. I don't give a fuck about wherever the fuck you're going with Flair and Hogan and Bischoff. I don't really give a flying fuck, to be honest with you. I don't care, okay? But here's where TNA has always fucked up. TNA is cyclical with their storylines. And by that I mean that they use the same fucking storylines every fucking couple years until eventually we just go, it's the same old shit, okay? You had the Kings of Wrestling. Then after the Kings of Wrestling, they said, hey, you know, bringing in Nash and bringing in Hall and bringing in Savage, even though he didn't do anything and he just stood in a trench coat for a month, you know, bringing in these big names really paid off for us. Maybe we should start bringing other big names in. And then they brought in Sting, and they said, you know what, Sting, we're going to recreate the NWO storyline because, again, Jeff Jarrett is going to act as our Hulk Hogan, and he's going to start his own faction called Planet Jarrett, and he's going to be the cancer of TNA. And yes, I am quoting myself when I say that because those are the exact words that they used, cancer of TNA. And we're going to have you defeat Planet Jarrett. We're going to have you take out their captain, Jeff Jarrett, at our biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory. And Kurt Angle is going to be the special enforcer, much like Bret Hart was when you faced Hulk Hogan in 1997 Starrcade. It's been done. We fucking get it. It's over. Stop with this shit, okay? I don't want to see a super faction in TNA anymore. What I want to see is healthy fucking competition in the fucking ring. If I turn on a TNA Impact or a TNA pay-per-view, I want to see good-ass fucking wrestling. I want to see single matches. I don't want to see blown-out ladder matches and table matches and chair matches and whatever the fuck you decide is a good idea at the time, because it's a terrible fucking idea. And I don't want to see it anymore. It's bullshit. What I want to see is I want to see AJ Styles in the main event where he should fucking be. I want to see AJ Styles with the fucking gold around his waist, putting on clinics with Kurt Angle or fucking Samoa Joe, or having fucking the open door policy come back. If I was in charge of TNA, I would get rid of Hogan right away, I would get rid of Bischoff right away, I would get rid of Flair right away, and any other name that has come from a giant organization that hasn't been that's been pushed to the moon. I would keep the likes of some of the younger guys that went to the WWE or went to WCW, and, you know, they didn't get that breakout then because they're still wrestlers and they still need that push. But for the guys that have already been to the mountaintop, get your ass off my television screen, okay? I'm sick of seeing your asses. I'm sick of trying to constantly force myself to watch 2 hours of Impact. I used to love TNA Impact, okay? In 04 and 05, I taped every goddamned episode that came on Fox Sports Net, okay? I have video cassette tapes of TNA Impact, okay? I've seen it. I've seen the progression, people. I've lived TNA. And what pisses me off is that now I have to watch this smut